JD also seems to think that marriage and parenthood should be mandatory for nearly everyone. He speaks about both, mostly in terms of duty, as if he can't imagine somebody would want to do these things. He was only married to Usha for 7 years when he denounced people who leave marriages because they're unhappy.
You know, I was personally, and a lot of the kids in my community grew up in my generation, personally suffered from the fact that a lot of moms and dads saw marriage as a basic contract. This idea that like, well, okay, and making it easier for people to shift spouses like they change their underwear, that's going to make people happier in the long term. So we've run this experiment in real time, and what we have is a lot of very, very real family dysfunction that's making our kids unhappy.
Look, I'm a child of divorce. And it was much better to be raised by people who were happy apart instead of miserable together. What's darkly funny here is JD is blaming his dysfunction on growing up in a broken family, but it's his fault that he's choosing to stay in a marriage even if he's miserable in it. The rest of us learned a smarter lesson from that. Don't waste your one precious life on a relationship you don't want. And when it comes to parenthood, JD also participates in that grand right-wing tradition of psychological projection.
When you have kids in your life, and the fact that so many people, especially in America's leadership class, just don't have that in their lives, you know, I worry that it makes people more sociopathic and ultimately our whole country a little bit less less mentally stable.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made. If you want to experiment on somebody's kids, Kamala Harris, AOC, and so forth, have your own kids.
Cat ladies. At a certain point, he's so mad at childless women that you have to assume he's jealous. Especially since the way he talks about his own kids is so weird. He barely seems to understand that they are his children.
My wife had this baby 7 weeks before she started the clerkship.
You know, she's got 3 kids. Obviously, I help with the kids, but because I'm kind of the one going to church, she feels like more responsibility to keep the kids quiet.
He's like, I don't know where this woman and her kids came from. God, they're noisy, aren't they?